Awesome. So
Thank you.
here we are. And can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So thanks again for making it. My name is Joe Link, and Gratis Solutions is our parent company. We are headquartered in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I have a very brief PowerPoint presentation just to go through some specifics, and then I'll go into a live demo if that works for you guys.
That sounds good.
Okay. Let me just pull this up real quick. Awesome. So our primary components of our platform is techWALL, paywall, and AutoWall. We're known as the walls at NADA, and primarily what we'll be talking about here is techWALL and paywall for fixed operations. AutoWall is our website. Back in June, Cox Automotive published a little, a little survey about dealerships that were forward thinking, quote unquote. And what they stated was they took 5 years of data and said basically that dealerships that are investing in these types of technologies are going to see a 64% higher net profit than those that are going to stay static. And it took them 5 years to figure this out when most of us have been doing this for 7, 8 years. So at the end of the day, what took Cox that amount of time to come up with their summary, we know in our space what needs to happen, and that's what techWALL is. techWALL. Why techWALL? It is 100% secure. Your CFO will absolutely adore PCI compliancy, meaning that there's no breach into your DMS if there is anything that has ever intruded into us. We adapt to your organization. And Kelly and Josh, this is one of the biggest differences that you'll see within platforms is that I would come out to your dealership, spend a day with you, and go through everything that you guys look at. And we would learn your RO throughput. We would figure out what the techs have to do, the parts department. We don't come in there and recreate the wheel, give you a piece of technology and say, hey, good luck with it. We take the time to spend that time with you to understand and customize the platform for your specific store. It is very user-friendly. We do not nickel and dime you. We have unlimited video and photo media. So that is absolutely, there are platforms out there that just nickel and dime you to death on that. We have 100% DMS integration, which is a complete push-pull of all of your opcodes, your parts catalog. We have the ability with your DMS to, if we want to change things in techWALL, it can push into the DMS. So that is a huge, huge integration. I'll talk a little bit about our reporting, but just know that it goes to the depths. And we have a complete used car recon management tool. So take Rapid Recon, put it on steroids, and that's kind of what we do. All of this is in one single price. So we don't nickel and dime you and say, okay, well, if you want this, it's an extra $100 a month, whatever the case may be. And last but not least, we meet and exceed all manufacturer requirements. I was a service director over 43 stores, so I'm very familiar with what all of us, our service managers and service advisors and all that kind of stuff had to do. So we had some director pain points, appointments, how to schedule, when to schedule, where to schedule, things of that nature. How do I ease the service advisor's pain? How do I keep the technicians turning wrenches? Parts order discrepancies. This goes away with techWALL. We completely protect you in the dealership in a manufacturer's audit. I'll show you all about that. One of the huge things that I really like is accountability and communication. So there's no more he said, she said that goes on right now in the typical dealer environment. And then last but not least, I always said to myself, how do I get my store to the next level? Great. Maybe we're pushing the momentum to where we need to be, but how can I get it beyond that? I talked a little bit about security, and this is just a big acronym for saying that we are 100% compliant. And PCI, we spent the money to make sure that there are no issues. We have two-factor authentication, which is mandated now, and it's a pretty simple process, as you've seen probably in some of your ways of getting onto some of these platforms. Same with all of our text messaging. It is 100% TCPA compliant. So if there is any issue right now that you guys have with employees texting from their personal cell phones, I highly recommend you don't. I represented our group that cost us about $1.2 million. Yes, we were published in Automotive News for it. So that was not a good thing to be talking about. Like I said, we integrate with all the major DMSs, and if you guys are thinking about changing DMSs down the road, we aid in that. And the fact that I was with companies that changed from a dealer track to CDK to Revs and Rounds, and we actually helped them because let's face it, those transitions are not pretty sometimes. And you can continue to work through techWALL while that integration is taking place. I'm going to talk a little bit or a lot about customization, and understand, Josh, that we customize everything for what you want it to be in your department. And we like to bring in shop foremen, lead service advisors, parts managers, things of that nature, so that they can have their input on building this. Because at the end of the day, it will come out and it will be your platform. There's not one techWALL platform that is alike. Now, if you have multiple stores, when you're going to look at your stores from a reporting standpoint, you can still be able to measure and benchmark apples to apples, but the platform can be different. Our support team is second to none, and we're derived of service directors, service managers, parts managers, service advisors, things of that nature. So we understand what's happening in the dealer environment. And this is one of the things that the Crown Automotive Group truly likes is Guy calls me and I get it done for him. The same would be for you guys. You would call me and say, hey, Joe, I need to change this a little bit. Or we have this process that Ford's coming out with. We need to change this a little bit. And you're talking to a human being. It's not this big, open, complex support structure that you submit something and 3 days later we get back to you. It happens on the fly, and you guys know, the need for something like that in today's environment. And then last but not least, we cut the service journey of a customer by 1/3. And when you start to have that type of automated AI definitive communications going, it helps out service advisors, it helps out technicians, and most of all, it helps out your customers because we make it very easy for them to do business with you. Any questions at this very second?
No, I don't think so. I just want to see it work.
Okay. So here is our platform, and it is comprised of a complete BDC platform, a texting communications platform, your MPI, and your follow-up and decline services, in addition to online bill pay. So again,
appointments can be scheduled through here?
Appointments are scheduled through here. If your manufacturer, which your manufacturer doesn't mandate, but if your manufacturer did mandate that the use of X-Time, we would incorporate those appointments created online in X-Time or by the store, and it would push into here. But we have an online scheduling platform that we would embed into your store's website, and it would take them directly to what I'm about to show you. Okay. So this is our BDC platform. We have 4 dashlets, and these dashlets can be customized. But today, you see today's appointments right here. I got Josh's appointment down here. I got tomorrow's appointments here. I'm going to get into required callbacks in a second. But this 4th dashlet truly can be anything that you really want it to be. A lot of time, our dealerships have productivity down here, whether it be their BDCs with their service advisors. We have dealerships that have little horse races from appointments that are created, hours sold, dollars sold, things of that nature. So it's an audit link tracker for real-time occurrences. And what you're going to see with this platform is a lot of real time. You don't have to wait for the day to end or get reports at the end of the month. All of this starts to happen in real time. Callbacks. You can consider these to be notifications and or CYA accountability for people doing their job. So for example, let's say that a RO was created for Josh, and we have a CSI follow-up process, whoever it might be. Instead of just hoping that your service advisor or BDC agent called Josh the next day, now we can account for if it was done, what was the result of it, and what, how did it end up? And what I mean by this is follow-up can be anything. It can be declined services, it can be parts notifications, it can be open campaigns that you would update the lists from your manufacturer. It can be anything. The point being is that it's accounted for in your reporting so that I understand, that I know I'm a manager, that Mr. Josh Quintana was followed up with, and I know what the result was. So an agent or a service advisor is going to come up here. They're going to call Josh. They're going to call Josh and say, "Hey, Josh, did you have a good time?" They're going to say, "Absolutely. We had a great service," or "No, we didn't have a good service visit." So if it was no, it would put not satisfied, and then maybe your reasons, your top 10 reasons for why the customer wasn't satisfied. And let's just say that there was a discrepancy in pricing. So once I save this callback, right immediately, right now, a text message can go to the GM, can go to the service manager, can go to the assistant service manager, BDC, whoever, that Josh did not have a satisfactory visit, in hopes that someone's going to reach out to Josh and say, "Hey, oh my gosh, I'm the manager. I heard that you did not have a good visit," whatever the case may be. So what are we doing? We're getting to the customer before they get any sort of manufacturer survey. This can be set up from a variable of different ways, RO closed, final invoicing, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, we're starting to see things in real time and get these things taken care of before a manufacturer survey goes out. This is just one example of a callback. Any questions on this?
So what if, I'm assuming that you can do the callback through like text messages, and how does that look like, or who would be the agent specified to make that callback? Is that advisor responsibility? Is that
it's whoever you want it to be. In your process, it's if you don't have a process right now, we would recommend probably, if you don't have a BDC, your advisor is doing it. If you have a BDC, maybe you have your BDC do it. We have automated communications that can go out via text message to customers that set up, just like your manufacturer survey. Did you have a great experience? 1, yes, 2, no. We have dealerships that do that. But the point being here is that it's accounted for so that we understand what is happening with our clients before anything happens.
And this is, so we're essentially setting up tasks.
Tasks, exactly. Just like your CRM, you're able to set up tasks.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But the cool thing about this is it's all encompassed in one. I don't have to go to Vin Solutions. I don't have to go to, whatever else there is. Okay. Have you guys, have seen X Time, I'm sure, and messages of the day are pretty pretty widely used now. And we have that ability to do that too. So, I can come in here and put this on the techWALL dashboard. I can put it on the BDC dashboard, or I can just put it on one. But one of the cool things about this is that these motivational messages that Josh would put on every day, you could say, hey, Susie, awesome job yesterday. You closed 40 ROs with a total of $85 million, whatever the case may be. These things can be done for the advisors. It can be done for your technicians, all of this. And it starts to build a culture where they start to look for it in the mornings. And you don't have to be at work to do this, Josh or Kelly. You can do this from your phone. It's a URL-based platform, and you have complete transparency on any sort of device, okay? I'm going to move over to appointments right now, and the appointments can be seen by month, week, or day. They can be separated by colors with service advisors. All of this is customized to what you guys and what, when I come out, what your dealership is looking at every single day. Red Cap is a big one right now for Ford dealers. Lyft, all that kind of stuff can all be right here. So you understand exactly what's happening in real time. So this is, again, techWALL Motors. It is a presentation site. So bear with me, because it's nuts and bolts compared to what some other dealerships have done. But from here, I'm going to become a service advisor. And the service advisor is going to use a tablet, is going to use their phone, is going to use, I've seen people now starting to use their watches to write up ROs. And this appointment here, I created, Josh, you probably got a text message earlier that an appointment was created, and an email possibly. But all I'm going to do is very simply create an RO for you. And I just click on this. It brings up, some vehicle information, things of that nature. For Ford dealerships, we have the ability to add the Oasis, the scheduled maintenance, any bulletins that are out there into the appointment. So it's all there for the advisor when they go out to the customer. We also have the ability to add menus. So if you want a factory menu, OEM menu, you can have that in there. Or if you have BG or Mach menus, we can add those in there as well. But an advisor will just click on Get Estimate, and it'll take them to this screen. And there's 4 steps to create an RO. Up here, I just ensure that everything is correct. Got the mileage. I got, Josh, this is your phone number, right? 530-933-2927?
Right. Yep.
Okay, cool. And then, if you add tag numbers, you guys are using tag numbers, we can put a tag number in there. You see the color of the vehicle. As I said, we have a full texting platform that I can text you that it will be separated. If you guys have 2 screens, it can always be open at all times for you to look at. Let me just bring this back up here. You see the Oasis.
Also,
What's that?
You sent that to me at 5 a.m. our time.
Was it 5 o'clock? I'm sorry. I'm 1 hour. I'm 1 hour ahead of you. I like to get it early.
Hey, I've been up for a while since then, but it's just kind of funny.
Sorry about that. Okay. On the first step, the walk around. If you want to have a fully complete vehicle walk around, we can instruct it in the process. So it would just be a matter of clicking on the little camera on your tablet, and you would do a walk around. Now, remember, I told you we do not charge you for data storage. So you guys can take as many videos and you can take as many pictures as you want. I also like to take a picture of the dashboard with the lights on, and also getting the fuel and the mileage. So that's pretty simple to do too. if there's anything else, if you have like a hunter drive over machine, if there's a dealer tire, anything that you have, all of that can be added as a PDF into here. So, you know, when I'm looking at, if I'm running out to the customer and I didn't have a chance to look at the appointment prior, I can run through and just see what's going on here. You know, I can take a look at the maintenance and I can, you know, tell the customer, hey, by the way, you got 20,000 miles and Ford recommends we replace your cabin air filter, right? Things of that nature. If there's any bulletins or recalls, those will automatically be added to the RO. And yes, the bulletins for the technicians with all processes are there for them too. So that's step one.
That information get pulled from?
So we have the ability to pull it from FMC, or you can manually upload it. It's how you want to design it.
Can you also pull from Kia
Mm-hmm. Yep.
or WebDCS?
Yep. Web DCS. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So step two is actually adding the lines to the RO or the conditions. Now, this is a demonstration platform. This can be built to however you want to do it. We typically start with your manufacturer's MPI and just build it out from there. But let's just say for Ford, they have their services, a 10,000 mile service. And let's see if, you know, let's just say that, I don't know, I have a problem with something. Let me just find something here. Well, I want to add wiper blades. That just added a line to the RO with the opcode associated with wiper blades for your store. And if there's a complaint, let's just say that check engine light. To add the line with a specific complaint, because sometimes dealerships use the opcode diag, right? So you can use voice to text on your tablet. You just press the little microphone and say, customer states check engine light has come on, right? We'll take it one step further. Josh, you're well aware of the NPF, no problem found, right? Technician gets it and says, nope, can't duplicate the noise, can't duplicate the light, whatever the case may be. So now the service advisor might take a video or a picture of the condition. Maybe you might have a shop foreman go on a road test with the customer and video, you know, what's happening, where, when, how. And so that the technician doesn't have to go back and start to do the diagnosis process all over again. So that's an efficient way of starting to look at these things. So I've added a couple lines to the RO. The next step is going to our criticals tab and ensuring that everything is priced out accordingly. Now, we will have your dealership, you know, right now you probably have opcodes associated with services and things of that nature. You probably have parts packs that are assigned to certain opcodes. If you don't, we can help you do that. But for an advisor, we want to create these presets so we make it as easy as possible for them to say, okay, your 10,000 mile service pays 0.9 to a technician. If you have different labor types for maintenances and all that kind of stuff, we can have that included in here. You have the ability to assign a tech individually per line or globally over the entire RO. Discounts are there. If you want to do a discount as a percentage or a value, it's absolutely up to you. If you want to mandate that a discount be approved by a service manager, once they did this, they added the discount. Let's just say they want $100 off. An automated notification can go to a service manager for approval via text message. So if you and Kelly are in a meeting, it's a Monday morning, and you just get a text message for an approval, boom, you can go ahead and approve it, or you can respond to it and say, why are we giving $100 off this, right? The point being is that it's portable and it can be done on the spot for everything. Talking about mandated processes, if you want to mandate menu presentation.
Real quick, if I could.
What's that?
Hear me? Hey, I had a question going back to the advisors on the drive. He's looking for the match a customer's concern. You went to a check engine light. Where do those? Is that something that it will pull from our DMS as far as opcodes? You mentioned that.
Yep.
But what if the items aren't listed? Is there an option to manually put in a specific concern that the customer's having? Vibration.
Yeah, so typically when we build this out, we're going to define it by the system of the vehicle: engine, steering, suspension, exhaust. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to have that. You're going to find a specific line for the condition. So, if there was an example of, on the interior, the lights don't work or something, we'll have that. But this is where, Josh, you would get involved and you would say, okay, I want, let's just say that you're having troubles with a new Bronco stereo system, and let's just say it's super duper FC359 stereo system. If you want to add a line for that, you can add a line for that. The only thing that I say is that, you want to make it as easy as possible for the advisors just to be able, and they get used to this all the time, right? So typically,
basically, it's a generic type of a screen that will allow you to find, because it looks very simple. I mean,
yeah,
I was just kind of wondering, and you said it's customizable.
This is just a demonstration site, and we have dealerships that go really, really in depth. And then you have like Guy, it's really generic, and he just lets his people, choose whatever, and then they write the description in. So, once, I was talking about mandates. So if I want to mandate those processes that you're always harping on service advisors and technicians about, for example, guys, we need to get customer signatures. Guys, we need to get walk around videos. Guys, we need to make sure that the OASIS and the maintenance is attached to ROs. We can mandate that these things go into the RO before they go further into the process. So when we talk about these stop gaps, and I think I talked to you about this, Josh, before, this is one of the key facts that starts to keep your brain cells, because you're hitting your head against the wall every day saying, why are they not doing this? Come on, guys, let's get this done. So now we just force them to do it, and it becomes process oriented. And when your manufacturer comes out and they say, well, we don't have a warranty add-on line. Nope, we do. Because anytime there's a warranty line and it's an add-on, it needed to be signed, and they can't go and close the RO out until it is signed. Things of that nature. And people start to learn real quickly. Everything that you've been asking them to do over the years comes to fruition in this platform. And when we talk about a CYA tool, this is a complete CYA tool. We can go as defined as you want in the process, but one of the cool things about this is that there's no more he said, she said. We completely audit every single thing that happens in the RO, and we expose it to everybody, because they understand that, now there's no more question as to who said what. And I'm going to show you some examples of that here shortly. When I do talk about an all-in-one fixed operations platform, I truly mean that. If you have all data, if you're using RedCap, if you're using, anything else, it can be embedded into techWALL right here. Okay. Any questions at this point?
No.
Cool. So let's say that I have this opcode diag. Customer states grinding noise coming from left rear vehicle upon acceleration. Advise. Our practice is 1 hour diag if the car is out of warranty. And I have a check engine light line here. Customer states check engine light comes on. So I'm just going to throw this in here. It might be a diag. I don't know. But let's just say that we have an hour diag for that. and I'm going to replace wiper blades, and I have your op codes for wiper blades. So let's just see if we have a wiper in here. And it will pull up everything associated with this vehicle, this VIN's wipers. So there's wipers. And I save that. So the final step on the drive is to say, Josh, the total for today's service is going to be $1,196.83. Do I have your approval? You say, sure, go ahead and do it. I can have you sign the tablet. I can have you sign the phone. I can have you tap on the watch. But in today's COVID days, I want to send it to the client. So I'm going to send this over to you, Josh, right now. Once you get that text message, let me know.
Got it.
Do me a favor, go ahead and click on the link, and it will open it up. Now, before you go any further, I want you to take a look at my screen here, and let me just bring up your estimate that we have created. I apologize, my network is running really, really slow today. But you will see here, let me just pull up Josh. All right, here's your estimate that is created. The entire dealership knows that we sent an estimate out to Josh, and we're waiting for the authorization. So do me a favor, go ahead and scroll down a little bit to the services that we want to do, and you can see some green toggle buttons, right?
Got 'em. Yep.
Do me a favor and go ahead and click on the green toggle button. It'll turn it red.
Yeah,
Right?
I've done that.
Okay. So we would instruct the customer on how we're going to communicate with them by saying, Josh, I can show you how to approve repairs, and I can show you how to decline repairs. The green means approve, the red means decline. So approve all the repairs. Do me a favor, go down to the signature box, sign your name, and save the signature. And then scroll down a little bit more and submit back to dealership for approval, and watch what happens on my screen. And let me know when you sent it back.
Oh, yeah, success.
Okay, so you sent it back to me, and now the entire dealership sees that you responded to the report. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to take a look at the report and ensure that you want to do everything. I see that your signature here approved $1,196.83. And oh, by the way, on the repair order, I see a date and timestamp and your signature of the amount that you approved. And as you go through the RO, these date and timestamps continue to go on. Okay. So from here, now understand, we haven't touched your DMS yet. We've only worked in techWALL. From here, I'm going to create the RO. And the RO is going to be, everything is going to be pushed into the DMS, and an RO is going to be created for Josh 50275. Do you guys have a mobile unit, mobile service units yet?
Yeah, we have two. We have two vans and an Escape.
Okay, so they can open up ROs wherever they are. And one thing that you're really going to like is our scheduling platform. And I'm going to talk about our scheduling platform right now. We have a mobile service scheduler that takes in geofencing and takes into account all the zip codes and things of that nature, so we can efficiently create appointments for you in and around the same areas on certain days. What does that do? it has the ability to get more appointments in a certain area, right? And it's pretty complex on the back end, but when a customer goes to make an appointment online, it shows them the available date that you have. And, we would sit down with you and we would start going through, where and how and all that kind of stuff. I sit down with you guys and we talk about that and we build it out. As far as scheduling goes, we have the ability to do it the historical way of a number of appointments per hour, per every 15 minutes or half hour, whatever the case may be. What we have come out with in the last year that has really truly started to move dealerships' productivity is the ability to utilize our route sheet, take into consideration all of the work in process, and have that work in process automatically adjust the scheduler. And how we do this is a couple things. We have technicians that have certified skill levels, and we know what their productivity is on a daily basis. So let's just say that my total shop can handle 150 hours a day. Well, we also take a look at your no-show rates for appointments. And then we also take a look at your carryovers. So we're taking all this information, and as you can see, this is what a route sheet looks like. We have all these carryovers. We have all the unassigns, and there's a billion of them in this platform. But I'm going to go to a technician by the name of AJ Jafar. AJ Jafar, we know, has ROs open with 68.3 hours that need to be completed. And as the technician goes and completes this work, it starts to decrease the hours. Now we take it another step further. We know that parts need to be ordered. So we take into consideration when the parts are ordered and when they're going to arrive. And for this example here, let's just say that this has an O2 sensor and it's not going to be here until next Thursday. Well, I know that that's going to take 1.2 hours. So the car might be down. We can, in mindset, schedule 1.2 hours for that part to arrive from Ford next Thursday, and already put that away and take him out, take AJ Jafar out of 1.2 hours of the equation. Now, we do have barriers for room, in case things happen and all that kind of stuff. But think about this as a whole, and what we've done in the automotive industry is we've just been advisor focused because I have 5 advisors on the front, and I can have them write up 2 ROs an hour, whatever the case may be. Now we start to take AI and we start to look at parts orders. We start to look at behaviors of customers and showing or not showing. And we look at behaviors of productivity with technicians. And all of a sudden we have scheduling, smart scheduling for times and parts of the days that are available on the back end by the technicians. What's your thoughts about that?
So no, this is a really neat a tool. But what kind of obviously it's pulling from a little bit from the DMS. I'm assuming,
it's
right?
All DMS.
It's all DMS.
Yep.
Okay. So typically, and I didn't get this deep in conversation with Guy Anderson, but what do you see as far as technicians? I know about their availability, but how are they dispatched their jobs? I mean, if we're essentially booking for, is that something that you guys are accounting for, or just availability upon skill group?
So we call it priorities, right? And in the setups, you define how you want those priorities set. You're going to have quick loop. You're going to have, your top 12 services, fast moving services. Those are priorities, as a priority set as number one, for example. And your technicians are set with those skill levels of those priorities. So we're taking into account, you just have a list of technicians and their availabilities. And all we're doing is plugging in those services that are being requested by employees or online into the availabilities of those technicians. Because at the end of the day, you could write up all the cars you want, but if you don't have any technicians back there, you can't get it done. So all we're doing is looking at the availability of those technicians based on, one, their work schedules, two, their productivity, and three, their WIP.
Yeah. Okay.
Sound good? So all of this comes into play in your service capacities. So when we say, you can look at it at many different ways. And if you want to block out times, let's just say that, you're having a Christmas party on December 23rd between 1 and 4, you can block out those times. You still have those abilities on your end to make those decisions for your organization. But if I were to go to, I don't know, we have everything. I mean, you see all these guys here. I mean, you can see what we've taken from all of the platforms that are out there and just made them a lot easier for people to use, as far as creating these schedules. Nobody has, especially I've been in a business since '92, and no one has come up with the algorithms or the abilities to take work in process and have it directly affect your scheduling. It's just not happening. And we're doing a pretty good job of it. And we're starting to see huge increases in efficiencies. So any other questions about scheduling the appointments at that point?
Can I see the schedule for, like, if I wanted to look at the appointments for today, what would that look
You can look at this. You can just look at day. And like I said, this is all customizable so that whatever you guys want to see. Kelly, on the front end, we have the ability to have, we have a front end tool that if your used car department is looking for specific vehicles, we have the ability to flag used car managers and say, okay, let's just say that he wants 2016 Ford, Mustangs. Well, any type of Ford Mustang that's coming in, he can get notified via email that, Josh has shown up, right? And we can go into that a little bit further down the road, about if you want to have a UCI or an appraisal or something like that, that can also be done with this. But typically you're going to... Do
you have the ability to schedule by capacity?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so by advisor capacity or car capacity?
Shop capacity.
Shop capacity, absolutely. Yep.
And is there a way to see on the dashboard there with the appointments, is there a way to see what they're coming in for?
Absolutely. So you can see, if you wanted to, and we don't do this for demonstration purposes, but if you wanted to open these up and have it show the different lines, we can do that for you.
But you can't make it so that we can just look at this dashboard and see they're coming in for an oil change?
Yeah, if you want distinguishers that this is a quick lube, we can absolutely have that. We have dealerships that do, like Alan is a QL, Steven is a QL. This is main shop. We can have those identifiers on these types of, on this right here, if you wanted to. The other thing is that on the BDC dashboard, if you want to look at today's appointments, you could do that as well.
Okay.
And do you guys like to see that identification of just, the quick lane versus main shop?
Yeah, that's something that we always, I mean, that's 40 to 50% of our daily traffic,
Yeah.
Hey, Hey, Joe, can you show me what the technician would look at? What does it look like from the inspection reports? And one of the biggest concerns, and you and I spoke about it a few days ago, but that technicians are doing work twice. They're writing stories in one, and when we're using X time, they have to write the stories, comments, and then rewrite them into the dealer track because they didn't transfer over.
Yep. So
Tell me what that looks.
So I'm going to become a technician, and technician AJ Jafar has his own dashboard. If you want to have them see only their ROs, we can do that. If you want them to see all of the ROs in the shop, you can do that too. The biggest thing here again is customizing this to how and what you guys are looking for, and what, really it comes down to what concerns you guys are currently going through, right? And I can tell you that we can overcome probably 99% of those, except pay and all that kind of stuff. But we can overcome most of those concerns. Let me become AJ Jafar. I just had to assign the RO to him. And I will become this gentleman, AJ Jafar. So a technician will see on his phone, a tablet, their computer, whatever, that they just got a new RO. And this dashboard, the main heart of the dashboard is within stage, parts, notes, and pickup. The stages are when I come out to you and you say, Joe, this is our RO throughput. This is what the advisors do. This is what the technicians do. This is just a demonstration template, but you can kind of get the gist of what it could look like for you. So if I am AJ, I just got this RO, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to log into the RO, and I'm going to click on technician working on VHR. Okay. At that point, you can have an automated notification go to the customer. Josh, this is AJ over at Geweke Motors. Thank you so much for bringing your vehicle in. I just started on your vehicle. We'll be in touch with you. So all I'm going to do as a technician, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to click on VCU. And it's going to bring up the same exact thing that the advisor was looking at. And there's a rhyme and a reason to it. But I'm the technician, and I'm going to go through the VCU the same way that I'm doing it right now, or MPI. And I'm only going to indicate things that need attention. And so let's just say that I needed to replace the wipers. Maybe I need the battery tested bad. So I come in here, I'm going to use voice to text. And I'm going to say battery tested bad. And then I'm going to take a picture of the battery Medtronics test or whatever the case may be. If I need a specific part from the parts department, replace battery with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battery. If that's still not enough information for the parts department, then maybe I bring up a schematic of parts, and I come over here and I say, okay, I need this part, and this part. Copy this and throw it in here so that the diagram is on there. And what does this do? It creates no discrepancies in specifically what the technician is asking for. Now, this is a very easy sort of demonstration, because when you start to get into electrical diagnoses, when you start to get into engine things, those types of parts diagrams, there's thousands of parts. So you can just think of a parts department wanting to know exactly what needs to be replaced, and a technician saying, I need this specific one. So what are we doing? We're keeping the technician in his stall or her stall and not having to walk back and forth to parts. The parts department will do the same thing. On recommendations, we always recommend that the technician do a video. And this would just entail, hey, Josh, this is AJ. Just want to let you know that we're recommending this transmission seal right here that is leaking, and we'll have an estimate for you. What are we doing with that? Independents are so successful because the owner of the independent repair facility is talking to the owner. That's exactly what we're doing here. We're bringing it back old school so that the technician, who probably the client trusts a little bit more than a service advisor, is hearing it right from their mouth that they need XYZ. And this right here, this little part right here is what is causing Guy Anderson to be up 176% over last year, because we're showing the customer directly from the technician what needs to be done. And all a technician does is take his or her phone, a tablet, whatever, and clicks on the little video and adds a video to the RO. It takes all 2 seconds. When he's done with the MPI, we can mandate that they complete the MPI or else they can't go forward. So if they leave something out, we won't be able to go any further. So then the technician at your stores, do you allow technicians to add their own time in?
No, they don't add their own time in.
Okay. And so we would remove that, and it would be the advisor that would say, okay, I need 3.5 hours. The technician would have diagnosed this and put this in his notes, voice to text, diagnosed wheel bearing grinding, whatever the case may be. So that's all that the technician would do. The cause and correction is still the same. They're going to put performed, for performed service, and they would use voice to text in these data fields. So they like that. They don't have to type anymore. And far as a technician is concerned, they would just send it over to the parts department, and it's either request P&A or it would be send to parts department, whatever the case may be. Once that is done, he would just come in here and click on technician completed VHR. And the customer could get another notification saying, hey, this is AJ. Just want to let you know I just completed the inspection or diagnosis or whatever word you want to use. And we'll be in touch with you shortly. What are we doing in that? We are continuing to keep the customer informed of the process or the progress of their vehicle without anybody having to do anything. We also have the ability for those cars that are down waiting on parts, the cars are down waiting on warranty authorization. We also have automated notifications going out to customers on a daily basis saying, hey, more or less, we haven't forgotten about you. We're still working on your vehicle. We'll be in touch with you. So if you have, CSI issues with keeping the customer informed of what's going on, this is a good platform to encourage, your team to say, okay, hey, we know we're going to automatically notify the customer, but at the same time, it starts to move them in a direction of continuing to keep communicating with the customer. We audit everything, as I said, and these audit stage flags, you'll see times and how long they were in their stages and things of that nature. At the end, you can run it by week, you can run it by month. What we start to see is that, maybe a technician is taking 25 minutes to do an inspection where another technician is taking 5 minutes. And then we also have the ability to look at technician 1 on a 90,000 mile average vehicle is recommending $3,200 worth of work, where technician number 2 on a 90,000 mile vehicle is recommending $200 worth of work on average. So now we're giving you factual data to start managing your operation and bringing them into your office and saying, hey, listen, we have a little bit of an issue, or you praise them for their good stuff that they're doing. Either way, you have factual evidence as to what is happening in your operation. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Cool. So here, all that communication that takes place verbally amongst a technician, service advisor, parts department, that goes away. And all the communication starts to come through the notes in here. And so, AJ might say, I'm all done. Right? Well, if he's all done, then where did the keys go? Right? Or if he's all done, where's the RO? Whatever the case may be. All of that communication gets put into these notes so that we can go back and we can see if there is any issue. Also, when it comes time to close the month out, or if Kelly, from your perspective, you want to go in and you want to see all the ROs, and you want to see all the ROs that are currently waiting on parts, I would come here, click on the stage, and it will start to filter all of the cars that we have parts on order for, car down. And that at that point, you can call up Josh and say, Josh, did you see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these cars that are cars down waiting on parts, or RO open, car gone? It starts to set the pace for cleaning up your whip immediately. And yes, advisors have the same capacity to do this. And when a Josh or a Kelly or whoever starts to look at whip for a particular advisor, they get the hit real quick. And so you don't have outstanding stuff. Your warranty administrator will have access to this as well. And they have a whole complete separate set of quote unquote rules that we can mandate happen. But do you see how this dashboard integrates with the use of what a technician does?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's go back to the parts department. The parts department is going to get Josh's RO and is going to get a little indicator stating that, well, I need to do something on Josh's RO. I don't know why it keeps going back to 2020. Okay. So remember I told you about stage flags. The parts department is unique where they only filter their flags. We don't want the parts department getting all grumpy because they're looking at ROs that are done. They don't care about that. All they need to know is, do I need to do anything with parts on this RO? So I'm going to come here. I'm going to stop impersonating my boy, AJ Jafar. And I'm going to become the parts department. So I look over here, attention parts. I'm going to click on the VCU. I'm going to go to the criticals, and I'm going to see exactly what parts need to be done on which lines. And let's just say that I needed a ball joint. So we have your complete parts catalog. I'm going to look up a ball joint for the VIN. There it is. I have all the price levels. If you want, you don't have to have them. We also can put in bin locations if you want. Again, you don't have to have them. I can save it. I have all of your quantities on hand. And I also have the ability to see what local warehouses have. So that can give you the ability to have advisors create these estimates pretty quickly on the drive for them. I see if it's in stock, if it's not in stock, whatever the case may be. If you guys use parts packs for services, we can have parts packs on there. Parts discounts, we have the same thing. Excuse me one second. we have the same thing for authorizations. If this became a warranty line, this could be sent to the appropriate person that has the ability to sign off on an add-on, warranty add-on line, right from their phone or tablet or whatever, with date and timestamps. So what are we doing there? We're protecting, you know, those audits for the add-on warranty add-on lines. Okay. So the parts department comes in here, you know, I want to add wiper blades. And there's the blades, price level, let's go 1, save it, there we are. See my quantity, boom. From here, I'm just gonna go send it over to the advisor and say all parts priced out. Attention advisor. Now, we have the ability to text the employee of who it's directed to say, attention advisor, RO number 50275 needs your help. We have the ability to email them. We have all these indicators that are going off because they're going to start to get used to the colors. Make sense?
Yes.
So then the advisor comes in here and looks at the VCU, makes sure that everything's priced out accordingly. We'll come over here, say, cool, cool, cool. There's some videos of what needs to be done. And then I'm going to send it to the client for their approval. And then Josh would go through the same exact process that he did at the time of the estimate. And he would come back. And if Josh decided that he didn't want to do the additional recommendations, you know, we can come back and say, Josh, what are you doing? You know, you need this type of thing, right? And we send it over to him. And then from there, once I'm done and the technician does all his work, I finalize the RO and I push everything into the DMS. So I've touched your DMS twice at this point. Finally, the advisor goes into the DMS and posts final charges or invoices the RO. And once they invoice the RO, an automated bill is sent to the customer for collection. And we have a reconciliation report for all online payments. If you want to use it, great. We can have that automated to your accounting department. If you don't want to use it, on your merchant provider reconciliation report, you will see a PW for the entry, just indicating that paywall payment was made. So they can distinguish that. But when you start to get 60, 70, 80% of your customers starting to use this, then it starts to create an efficiency of picking up the vehicle. And we have dealerships that actually schedule appointments for pickup. So think about that at, you know, down the road on how easy that would be for the pickup. You don't have people at the cashier yelling and screaming that I didn't approve all these services. Make sense?
Yeah.
That is in a very overview of techWALL, what this is. We have these reports, and how are you forecasting right now?
As far as
Just monthly. You know, I'm sure Kelly needs a certain amount of service gross profit out of you, parts gross profit.
Yeah,
so,
we do it monthly, and we meet every week to go over where we're at. And
okay. So how about if I were to be able to give you on a daily basis a PACE report and where you are compared to your goal, right? And let's just say that, you know, you have 115 goal, 70, you know, what's an average month for you guys at the Ford store?
Total, I would say 340,000 gross.
Okay.
That's parts and everything.
Oh, you're talking parts and stuff? Well, no, this just says service gross.
Oh,
Yeah, service gross, let's just say 340. Parts, what do you get? Like I don't know, 320?
No,
180.
well, 180 for this month. Yeah, I would say just put 180.
180. Okay, so all we would do is we would start to take, where your totals are, and we can automate this, and your production days. Let's say that we have, you have 20 days completed, and you guys have, I don't know, 319 completed. You're 3.2% off, or you're 3.2% above your pace, and you're pacing 350,900. So you look at all through, and these are just different metrics that I used to look at as a fixed ops director, right? You can have whatever you guys want to look at, but what this does for you, Kelly, and you, Josh, is it's just gives you an overall glimpse that you don't have to wait till the weekly meeting. You see this on a daily basis of where you are. Take it a step further. If you want to put it in the service advisor's hands, and let's just say that a service advisor wants to make, wants to sell, 80,000 in service gross, and wants to do. So we have that ability to do that with the service advisors. Technicians, they want to produce 250 hours a month. Well, we can start to put paces together for them to say where they are. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it. But it's one of these things that is there for you guys to use, that we find is pretty interesting when you start to expose the score of the game every single day. I talked about support, and it's not just giving Josh a technology platform and saying, hey, good luck with it, Josh. I work hand in hand, just like I did with Guy and all his service managers. I work hand in hand to ensure that, everything is working and going in the way that we need it to go. So I personally get involved with all the ROs for the first, 3-4 months. I help out after we install your dealership, and we get to know the team. So I would be sending notes. I would help Josh send notes. I'd help, the technicians, get things moving and all that kind of stuff. When we install, we have usually about a 45-minute to an hour session with each team member a week before we install. We then give them the ability to have access to the platform, and we ask that they start utilizing the communication tools in here to get used to it. And then when we show up, we'll come in on Sunday. When we get there Monday, we'll start training first thing. And our team will consist of, someone working with the advisors, someone working with the technicians, someone working with the parts department. And we will sit there with them, holding their hands, maybe even writing up ROs with customers, because we're all former, service advisors and technicians and all that kind of stuff. We will help them do that until they are comfortable doing it. And we typically stay there for about 5 days. So we work hand in hand with your team, ensuring complete transparency that they know how to use this platform. And yes, they do take a little bit of a test at the end of the week, just ensuring that they say, I understand, I got it, I know how to do it. Questions?
Does Crown Motors use the scheduling tool?
They
Or do they have another?
They use the scheduling tool. April over there for Honda is using Xtime, but for everything else they're using techWALL.
Okay.
And the guy's been really working hand in hand with Ford and what they were trying to shove down his throat. And so he took it on for a month, and he called me earlier this month and just said, hey, listen, I'm not doing anything with Ford. It's junk. It does nothing for us. And I said, well, I've been in close contact with Ford since last December about what they were doing, and they did about a quarter of what they said they were going to do. So they actually looked at us as, we had all of the developers on there, and basically they wanted to try to mimic what we were doing with that scheduling, and then what we did with the mobile service. And we let them in on, until they said, we were going to sign a contract with them. They wouldn't sign a contract with us because they wanted to make it their own, and we were willing to make it their own and brand it. But their developers were just so analytical, and it was crazy. So you got what you got from Ford right now, and it is not working. We have other Ford stores that have done the same exact thing, and it's not working. And at the end of the day, you got to make a decision for your business. And do you want to, you want to make money, or do you want to just abide by the manufacturer's, platforms that they're shoving down your guys' throat? So.
Okay, and how does it work? I'm assuming you can send me all the pricing, and then
Yeah.
is it month to month, or if we did sign up, are you locked into a year, or how's that work?
Nope. So like I said, we are offering through the end of the month, we are offering a month-to-month contract after 90 days. So 90 days, you would have to be responsible for, but we call it the love it or leave it contract. Haven't had anybody leave it yet. But I will send that to you right now and put this together, and you make that decision. You guys have talked to Guy enough, I'll send you more references if you guys want to call anybody else. But Kelly, I've been hounding you for forever this year. I'm so sorry about that, but it's just, when someone like Guy feels so adamant about something, it's like, I just, I keep going. There was other friends that he has brought me. So he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. Okay. Well, yeah, send us that, and then can you email me this recording so I can send it to Matt, our general manager?
I sure will.
Okay. All right, and so we've got until tomorrow to make a decision.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.